going through that, could you feel the adventure of it as you were making it?
Well, I certainly did.
Well,
I mean, the idea of going back to Scotland. I mean, this is, what you see is what you get. It is a very remote place, and the whole thing was done on a shoestring, literally. So, the vehicle bought second hand, not very reliable. The boat, well, you see the things go wrong. The outboard, it was a nightmare and whatnot. So it was kind of touch and go, seat of your pants type stuff. And on a day by day basis, are we going to get through today? Will we come out with anything at all? Will we find the gold? Will we find the place? Will we get over the mountain? Will we get over the water? Will the camera fall into the water and be destroyed? There's an element of risk there, which made it exciting. Which is what the film's about. So on that level, it was enjoyable, but enjoyable on a kind of like a dangerous sport is enjoyable. If you see what I mean, it wasn't an easy form of enjoyment, but rewarding, because if you set yourself a challenge and you pull it off, then that's its own reward.
It took 4 years to make the film, from meeting Garnet to premiering it last night, which is a long time. And for a lot of that time, I didn't really have any idea what the film was actually going to be about. So it was really a process of discovery for me. A lot of documentaries, like if you tell a retrospective story, you know what the story is, and the challenge is figuring out, okay, how can I best tell that story. This was kind of completely different because I didn't know what the story was. I got kind of drawn into Garnet's amazing world and the sort of extraordinary group of friends that he's got, and his wonderful mother, and this art, and I wanted to make a film first and foremost that kind of reflected the sort of poetry and lyricism of Garnet's world, and to try and tell a story that felt like it was something that Garnet would tell. If Garnet was a filmmaker, how would he tell his own life story? Well, I don't think it would be a verite cinema kind of fly on the wall documentary. It would feel more lyrical, it would feel more poetic. So that was kind of the starting point. But one of the most exciting things from a storytelling point of view is that we just didn't know. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if we were going to find the gold, but I also knew that the story that I was trying to tell was more about the journey going on in his head than the journey to find literal gold. And I didn't know what was going on in his head. And so it was very, very exciting going up to Scotland, and I love documentaries like this because you get a big adrenaline rush. It's like being part of, I would imagine being part of like live theatre when something's happening in front of you and you have to react spontaneously to things that are happening, and it keeps you on your toes, and I get a real buzz off that. I'm kind of addicted to that feeling of knowing that I'm recording something's happening in front of me, and that if I miss it, I'm never going to get it again. I find that very, I'm obsessed with that feeling, and it gives me an adrenaline rush.
It's improvisation in a way. I mean, like at the premiere last night, we had this question and answer session afterwards, and you can't really prepare for that, and it's nerve-wracking beforehand and all that sort of stuff. And Ed's anxious about it, and so am I, and so forth. But that's the great thing about it. You put yourself out in that situation. Yeah, and we seemed to get it right. We were very well received, and we didn't freeze or anything. And the adrenaline and the sense of occasion and so forth. You have to rise to it because there's no other choice. And it's in situations like that that you start to feel most alive, really. And you can't contrive those situations. It's only if you don't really know what's coming up, and you just have to roll with the punches and see what happens.
Because I started making this film as soon as I graduated. I was at UNC Chapel Hill for 4 years.
That was my first choice.
It was a great school, but I spent a year working for National Geographic up here, and then I met Garnet, so we started making this film.
That's awesome.
But the thing you have to do, the thing I learned very quickly, and it takes a lot of luck, is first of all you have to find a great story, but that's kind of like half the battle, and then you have to sort of surround yourself by people who are much more talented than you are. And they solve everything, and they sort all your mistakes and rescue along the way. So we were immensely lucky with this film. It was produced by Simon Chin, who has made some of the best documentaries ever, and that's just been an immense privilege for me to work with him. And Redbox and Passion Pictures, who made the film, just the best in the business for this. So surround yourself by people who are much better than you, and they'll write you beautiful scores like J. Ralph did to us, and they'll edit the film beautifully and cover all your mistakes like Paul Carlin did.